A disability is something that has a major impact on your life.
Every disability is different.
And it's never the same thing for two people. I am blind in my right eye totally and partially sighted in my left eye.
I was 18 years old. We were traveling way too fast on a gravel road. Broke my neck, my back.
My Asperger's syndrome and my cerebral palsy.
I have anxiety and depression. People would have no idea just talking to me.
Being independent means different things to different people.
I want to live in my own house. I want to pay my own bills.
Live independently and not rely on other people.
When someone is not able to live as independently as they can, it does have a detrimental effect on people's physical and mental well-being.
It's no complicated thing. It's just that people with disabilities want to be included.
Plenty of people get stuck in ruts when they feel like they can't overcome something in their life. That's where LIFTT comes in.
Living independently for today and tomorrow. LIFTT. We help people of all ages and all types of disabilities find the resources or acquire the skills to live as independently as possible.
We serve the southeastern 18 counties here at the Billings office. We have a variety of things that we offer. We can help with grant funding for adaptive equipment.
Maybe a home modification so they're able to access their home. We help people to find that funding.
Helping people apply for Social Security benefits.
Medicaid, Medicare, housing.
They have a peer support group. Peer support, I think, is key.
Sharing life experiences is one of the most powerful things to help people who might be new to disability, who might be struggling with their disability.
Youth transitions is kids that are transitioning out of high school. They need to learn those adulting skills. It might be rent an apartment, learn how to grocery shop, budgeting.
Help someone advocate for themselves in a school or an employment setting. One of our biggest strengths is providing folks with information and referral. If we can't help you, we hope to know who can.
A lot of times we'll have a potential consumer call in and they think that they just have one need, and it turns out that we end up finding 3 or 4 things we can actually do for them.
You can just come in and say, hey, I feel like I have this going on. Can you help me? And we can, which is so cool to me. I love that.
Most of us on staff at LIFTT have identified ourselves as having one or more disabilities. That is helpful in many cases.
It's easier to empathize with someone when you yourself have struggled with a disability.
This is what we specialize in. This is who we are, and this is what we do.
And it costs nothing to go to LIFTT. It's a nonprofit organization and they're there to help.
Somebody that was a consumer that was working with LIFTT was asked to do an art project. He visualized that the balloon helps to lift people up. And then it became the logo, and it's stuck.
There's been success on all kinds of levels.
It's really rewarding to have a consumer go, hey, I was able to do this by myself today.
We want people to live their best life as independent as possible.
Live as everyone else in society and live as a part of society, not apart from society.
Everybody needs help. Sometimes you just need a little more help, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
There's plenty of life to live still, and there's a way you can do it. Keep chipping away at it, little by little by little.
Knowledge is power. Let's share it, for crying out loud.
Send us an email, give us a call. We'll do our best to help.
We can definitely help figure out what your needs are and get started on that. We're one of many steps in the path to independence, and we're happy to be serving people here in the community.
Good day and welcome to Living Well in Montana. Living Well in Montana is a program of living independently for today and tomorrow. LIFT, LIFTT, as we often style ourselves. LIFT is what is known as a Center for Independent Living, meaning we are a hub for resources, programs, services, and advocacy for people with disabilities of all ages and all types of disabilities across our 18 county service area in south central and southeastern Montana. For more information about LIFT, please visit our website at lift.org or give us a call at our Billings office at 406-259-5181 or our Glendive office at 406-948-8500. Today on the show, we welcome back our Glendive Regional Manager, Jen Hawkinson, who is going to be talking about a program that she will be offering in Glendive coming up on the 31st or 30th of March, Monday, the 30th of March. And it's a parent-child communication workshop. So, Jen, sort of fill in the who, what, where, why, when details.
So it'll be in the basement of the public library in Glendive, but we are going to be able to, people can join online. It's from 4 to 5 on Monday, the 30th. And we're going to talk about how to better communicate with your kids and how kids can better communicate with their parents.
Okay. And kind of what is the motivation for the workshop?
So I have kids. My kids are older now. They are not teenagers anymore, but I've worked with some pretty difficult kids. And I have learned some techniques over the years that have really helped parents and the kids alike. And so with my kids, I didn't want anybody to come in and just take over. I really wanted I just needed some help. I just needed some little tips and tricks on how to handle some situations without, a total explosion at our house.
You mentioned a background working with children. What is your background then?
So I have been a paraeducator at the schools. I was one-on-one with a kid with autism. I worked in group homes with people with disabilities. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for a few years as the program director. I did the youth employment and training out at Action for Eastern Montana. They did the WIOA Youth. WIOA stands for the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and that gets kids the opportunity to get some work experience and get into that workforce. So, and a wide range of kids from like littles to up to age 24, 25, 26-year-olds.
Yeah, at the Boys and Girls Club, you have elementary school students, if not younger. I don't know. Some Boys and Girls schools have preschools, but
we did not have
we
didn't have preschools. It was kindergarten through 5th grade. Yeah.
So that is a wide variety of.
Yes. I've had friends that have had trouble with their kids in the past, and they just were struggling I'm going to give an example. I had a friend, her husband passed away, and her child, like 9 years old, lost his ever-loving mind. I mean, he had a really, really hard time. A lot of behaviors. And so I had offered, do you want me to come over and help, for quite a while. And then finally one night I got that, yes, we need help. So I went over, and this kid was supposed to be doing something, and I said, show me how you do that. What are you supposed to be doing here? And he did his task compliantly. And the older brother, who was about 12 at the time, leaned over to his mom and said, oh my gosh, she's like Nanny McVie. So I worked with that kid for several months. Literally every day I would get off work and go over there and be there till like 9 o'clock at night, just to give mom a little relief, to help her with, I mean, we're talking some massive behaviors. He tried to grill grilled cheese directly on the stove with no pan, that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, tough kid. He actually is a cop now, so and he told me, well, he introduced me to his girlfriend as, this is the lady that made me get my poop together. So I chuckle at that now, but yes,
Yeah.
he was a pretty tough kid.
Oh, well, that's great. So, to sort of bring this into the realm of lift, both parents and both parents who might have disabilities and children who have disabilities, and then you've got parents who might have disabilities who are parenting children with disabilities. All of
Correct.
that is uh,
That would
sort of makes
constitute them, yeah,
right, and
to
sort of
receive
makes
lift services.
right, and that all kind of makes even the communication piece even that much more difficult. I mean, people have been talking about the shortcomings of the generations coming up behind them since Socrates, but um, you
We
know,
also help with, one of
right,
the things we do here at Lyft, which isn't really part of the workshop, but this is something I'm happy to talk about if someone brings it
okay,
up, is
yeah,
we help kids with chore charts, because that is one of the biggest battles at home. I can't get my kid to do stuff. And so I reflect, when I worked at Lyft years ago, I had a mom and a kid come in. The kid was
mhm,
about 10. And I said, okay, so we're going to do a chore chart. We're going to start with stuff you want to do. Let's, set him up for success. And then we would add to it. Mom and I almost fell over when he chose to clean the cat box. That's what he chose. And we were like, are you okay, boy?
work must work in
He,
a must be a
he is,
veterinarian now, huh?
no, he is in his late 20s, early 30s, still utilizes them and makes his family utilize them. So I
Oh,
just think
chore
that's
chart.
so cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. S- uh, so yeah, we do a lot of skills training with both youth and adults with disabilities, because again,
Hmm.
sometimes people need to pick up skills later in life or need to relearn skills
Hmm.
after an event. Um, Regarding the workshop, what sort of uh the one okay, and we sort of cover what are some other thing we'll stay outside the workshop for a minute. What what is are some of the other program services and resources Lyft can provide to parents and children, and
Okay,
both as well as like schools and stuff.
absolutely. So we can help with advocacy. So if you feel like your child needs to be on an IEP or a 504, which is a plan to help them and put supports in place while they're in school, we can help to get people going on that process. Just because they think their kid should have an IEP doesn't mean they're necessarily going to qualify for one, but we can put those supports in place. There's been kids that I'm like, hey, when you're they're not eligible for an IEP or 504. And I'm like, when you feel frustrated, you need to say to your teacher, I need a minute, so they don't have this big meltdown. They can pull their life together. Um, we help with, and it's not just to help the parents with the IEP process, it also helps the school too. Because we help with that communication piece.
Mhm.
Again, uh, I'm gonna lay it out there. I love the behavior stuff. So if you have children with behaviors, I've written out behavior plans, again, tips and tricks on how to get the kid to comply. Or I don't even know how to explain it. There's a lot of stuff that I have to offer that people are like, well, I've done everything. Yeah, but have you? So we had an employee that worked here, and her kid, we had to come up to Billings for a C7 taping. And her kid called her about 100 times while we were there. And on her way back to Glendive, she said, I don't think I can come again. And I said, what's going on? She goes, he's driving me crazy. He calls all the time. She goes, I've tried everything. And I said, well, have you looked at talking to him what he's going to do while you're gone versus what you're going to do? And she goes, no. So we had an opportunity to come to Billings again. She prepped him with like, okay, what are you going to do while I'm gone? He called once in 3 days. So it's just kind of stuff like that. One thing is when you're asking your kid to do a chore, yes, they should comply immediately. Sometimes they need that time to process. So if you say, hey, I need you to start this chore and have it done no later than 3 o'clock, it's going to take you 30 minutes to do. When is a good time to start this? And then just let them do it. As long as they get it done by 3 o'clock. Okay, great.
Okay.
So it's
Um,
kind of stuff like that.
yeah,
I'm
it's
hoping
sort
that
of
people will bring
basic.
questions. Yeah.
Okay, you're hoping that people bring questions.
Yep.
And you have seen, if not at all, a lot. I know. So again, I would encourage people to join us either in Glendive or online, and we'll have. Unfortunately, we don't have the link available right now, but we'll have it available soon on our website and on our social media.
Yep.
Um, so I guess um,
Could I
what
elaborate a little bit on the youth transition skills?
please.
Okay, so youth transitions helps to get those kids prepared for when they're an adult. I've had people tell me my 16-year-old doesn't know how to do laundry. I'm horrified. You need to start younger for these kids. I'm not saying that you're going to have your 3-year-old doing laundry, but maybe you could show them how to fold washcloth and just gradually start along. I do have some documents that I found, and it's when to start teaching kids different skills. I also, we offer, it's called a life skills checklist. It's more for those teenage years. Like, do you know how to call and set up a doctor's appointment? What do you do if your basement floods? My favorite answer to that was, well, you clean it up. Okay, that's great, but your stuff's all wet. What do you do now? Well, I put it outside. Okay, now you have a pile of stuff in your front yard. What do you do now? So I like to get kids thinking. I actually spoke at the youth conference like 2 or 3 years ago now, and something that I had made a list of like things you need to know as an adult. And one of them was how to defrost a freezer. And people came up to me afterwards and they were like, I would have never thought of that. We kind of assume that kids know this stuff. Where to put a stamp on an envelope, where to write the address, how to write a check, how to open a bank account. What do you do when you rent a house? What questions do you ask? So
Mhm.
all these things are stuff that we can work on with these youth. It's kind of where my favorite thing, youth and again, behaviors. Your kid does not have to have a behavior though to qualify for our services. And
Right.
I want to remind everybody that a disability is anything that has a major impact on your life, but you do not have to have a diagnosis. Anxiety, depression, cancer, diabetes, it doesn't matter. As long as you can say it, qualified for services.
Yep. And again, if you're interested in services from LIFT, either reach out to us through our website at lift.org or give us a call in Billings at 406-259-5181 or in Glendive at 406-948-8500. So got about 5 minutes left here, Jen, before you spend a minute or two reminding people of the workshop. What's sort of the one sort of tip or trick or however you'd like to phrase that, that you'd like everybody watching to know, whether they attend the workshop or not, to know about parent-child communication?
Okay, so my favorite thing to ask children is, what is your parents' favorite word to hear? And I get please, thank you, yes. I'm like, no, we like the word okay. And then just go do it. I said, if you just say okay and go do what's asked of you, there's no yelling, there's no screaming, nobody's crying, there's no fighting, just go do it. So that is a parent's favorite word.
And what would be a tip to a parent, to a quick tip to the parent to perhaps solicit that okay?
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
What?
No, that's what I would say to the kid. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you correctly. Did you mean to say okay? Great.
No, well, that's not what I mean. I mean, how do you ask them to do something without immediately triggering?
I would say, so today I need you to fold your laundry. I need you to fold your laundry and I need you to have it done by 3 o'clock. It's going to take some time. So you need to figure out when you can be done by 3 o'clock. And then, like I said, don't continue to harp, just walk away. Say this is your responsibility. I do throw a little bit of love and logic in there. My favorite example is if your kid has a cell phone and they have to have that cell phone on them to leave the house and they get in trouble and they lose their cell phone, then in turn, they've made the choice to not leave the house because they made the choice to lose their cell phone. So I love that too. It takes it off the parent and puts it on the kid. When you made this choice, then you made the choice to do this.
Okay. Well, one more time, that workshop is when and where?
It is Monday, March 30th at the Glendive Public Library in the basement or online from 4 to 5.
Jennifer Hawkinson with LIFT's Glendive Regional Manager and Youth Services Expert Extraordinaire. Thank you for joining us on Living Well in Montana. Again, this has been Living Well in Montana, a service of living independently for today and tomorrow. LIFT, for more information about all of our programs and services to help people with disabilities across our 18-county service area, please visit our website at lift.org or give us a call in Billings at 406-259-5181 or in Glendive at 406-948-8500. Thank you and good day.